Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Alan. Um, just wanted to give you guys a weekly analysis on some pairs that I'm looking at this week. I'm going to try to make this short and sweet. Um, you can go back and watch the video and, take notes during to be ready for this week. There's a lot of good setups. So without further ado, I'm only going to cover a couple pairs that I'm really looking at in terms of setups for this week. So let's go ahead and get to it. So the first things first is gold. I'm going to pull out the daily chart, and we hit this level. Of course, a big reversal. This was a weekly zone where we kind of knew that price was more than likely going to reject there. Um, Followed by this impulsive move, the market structure was broke here. These lows were taken out, and this is looking very, very corrective. The nature of this move is looking very corrective. It's not very impulsive. So what I'm expecting um, is this market to continue correcting up into this liquidity area and this bearish, sort of order block we have here. Okay, so what I'm looking for, if you wanted to take advantage of this both ways, what I'm seeing, if you wanted to buy this market, I would wait for this level to break and then retest, and then you could probably buy it all the way back up to 1327-ish. That is where I'm looking for shorts. So any sort of buys are going to be short term, in my opinion. But I'm looking, on one more push up into this region, 1327 area, and then we'll start looking for some strong reversal signals. On the daily, this would make a lot of sense. This is kind of where price essentially fell from last time, where it really broke here and it started moving down. And just this overall nature of this market looks very bearish. We had an impulse, a flag, an impulse, a flag, an impulse, a flag, and then we broke down. The market structure was taken out here, and I'm just seeing this as corrective. I don't use Fibonacci, so I don't know what Fibonacci level it is. I'm just looking at these liquidity areas where I think price is going to, touch and then move away from rather quickly. So if you wanted to buy this, again, wait for this high to be taken out and then retest, and you can buy it all the way up to 1327-ish. That's around 80 pips. That's a nice little move. And then I would definitely look to take profit there. And then I'm looking for a big short from 1327 all the way down to probably retest this area around 1290. And if we get a retest here and some sort of bullish signal, then we'll look to get long. But in my opinion, if I'm looking at the daily, I think in order for this market to push up any higher, we need to take these lows out. All the way down to 1278, 1280-ish. So that's the outlook on gold. I'm looking to buy up to 1327 and looking to sell it back down to at least 1300. Depending on the market structure, of course, things could change. We just follow the price action and go with the market structure. But all in all, the market structure has been broke, and this is very, very corrective. This is not impulsive. So I'm expecting this to roll over from this level up here and then come all the way back down. Okay, so same thing sort of with silver. Gold and silver move, essentially the same. But I'm kind of more inclined to trade silver this week because the setup's a little bit cleaner. Same scenario, same exact scenario. We have this high here. It looks very corrective. Looking at the 4 hour, this looks like a, sort of an A to B, B to C, and maybe the D wave up here. And I'm looking for some shorts around this level. You can mark this level off. I don't even know what the price is, 15.8 something, where this liquidity area is, and looking to short from there. If you want to buy there, wait for the break of this high in a retest, and then take it up to this zone. Very, very similar sorry about that, situations. With silver in terms of corrective, I'm looking at a corrective structure up here. We've got some liquidity. So I'm looking for a push up here, and then a big short down to here. And my target will be back to this sort of accumulation phase where price broke out before. I see it retesting this area and then really taking off to the upside. This would be the impulse, and then this sort of correction, and then a move to the upside. So definitely looking to short from here to here, and then buy from here to here. That's the setup on on silver. Oil is looking pretty decent for a short. I would wait for price to. We broke out of this sort of accumulation phase here, and I would look for some sort of corrective structure up to here to short. This would be kind of short-lived, and I would look to take it back down to these lows after this retest. If you wanted to short oil, the daily's got we're in a nice area where we've got a reversal doji, and I see price coming up again to retest and then pushing back. Your targets on the daily could be back down to this retest area, which on the 4-hour makes sense, running into this kind of liquidity area here. So looking for a push up, a rejection, or maybe even another test to the highs, and definitely a sell, because the market structure has been broken. This low has been taken out, and these lows have been taken out. So looking for a correction to here, somewhere in here, looking for a reversal pattern, whether it's a doji or a double top or something like that, and then looking to short back down. US 30, this is going to be very similar across all the indices. On the daily, we have a very, very, very strong engulfing candle here, and we're running into this liquidity area where we'll kind of see how price reacts here before we do anything. To me, it's a little overextended on the sell side to continue selling. So for me, I want to see this structure get taken out before I decide to short. What I see on the smaller time frames, though, is a very pretty strong signal that we're gonna keep selling. We have a double top and lower highs up here, and the market structure has been broken here. So we could see one or two things. We could see just a simple retest here, and then continuation to the downside all the way down here. Really. Let's see, a retest here, and then a continuation to the downside, or we could get one more push to the upside up here, and then a sell. But just looking at the daily, it looks it's engulfing, and it's very, very strong bearish move. So ideally, I would want to see this structure get taken out on like the 4-hour chart, this area. If we see some sort of bullish, pattern down here, then it's definitely going to look good for a long back up to this area. So I would wait for price to get down here and see how it reacts. But all in all, I'm looking, for a sell. We've got lower highs on the daily. We've reached major resistance levels on the weekly. The only thing is this could be a corrective structure to push back up to make new highs. Only time will tell. Right now, it's a little choppy with US 30. The higher time frames is still bullish. We do have weekly bearish doji, so we could see from a long-term perspective, price move back into this region to retest before a push up. Right now, I'm just waiting on these indices. Same thing with the NAS. It's a little bit cleaner setup because we've got a pretty identified zone here. We've got this area. The market structure was broke. This was taken out. uh, this level was taken out, and now we're at a level, it's either make or break. If we break and we retest this level, we could come all the way back down to this zone, even, in here. But what I'm seeing on NAS is a retest of this level, some sort of reversal pattern, and then and then taking it back down to the lows here. GBP odd, the pound pairs went kind of ballistic last week. We had this huge move down, and then this is looking. It's hard for me to tell whether this is corrective. It looks pretty bullish to me. We're running into this level, and we're actually starting to kind of trade above it. So looking at the higher time frames, the daily and the weekly, I think this weekly wick should get filled. This is a bearish gravestone doji on the weekly. It's a very, very, very strong sell signal. The only problem is that we've broke this level, and it looks like a retest. We broke, and it looks like a retest. So this could be a doji to the upside. Again, until the structure is taken out, then I'm going to leave the pound pairs alone for a little bit. This is really, sort of a level to pay attention to. We could come up here, get some rejection and a nice short here. And price could definitely, what you may see is price kind of consolidate here and kind of move in a range. And I would, just draw, your highs and your lows and wait for a breakout either to the upside. And you could take this all the way back up here or here. The thing about GA is, these little 4-hour moves it's 100 pips. And same thing, if this kind of consolidates and breaks and retests and it's going to push back down to the lows, you're looking for a weekly wick fill if this structure is taken out here. Okay, so overall, I mean, it's hard to tell with the pound pairs, but I think the pound pairs are going to sell pretty hard this week. And it may we may see a lot of sideways movement with the pound pairs because of all of this, stuff that happened last week. Strong move down, strong move up. We could see some consolidation this week. So just keep your eyes on the pound pairs and watch these levels. GU, it's essentially the same across all the pound pairs. GU is a little bit cleaner setup though, because we're running into this sort of area where price accumulated orders broke, retested, and fell, and now we're getting a retest of this same area where the structure was broken prior. So we could see, some consolidation. A lot of rejections at this level would tell me to short, and then your take profit would obviously be down here to the lows. That's my bias on GU is bearish. Just looking at the daily and the weekly, again though, this could be a simple break and retest to continue to the upside. I would not buy GU honestly until this level is taken out. If these highs are broke, then we have a strong case that we're going to see upside on the pound dollar. But until then, until this market structure is broken, I would not get long. Just in my opinion. Now, if we break this level and we retest and this becomes support now, this has been kind of strong support in the past, then you could definitely take it up to this next level. That's a nice 100 pips. So watch the price action. Look for a lot of rejections and accumulation here. And so what I would do is I would kind of block this off. And so what I would do is I would wait for price to make a move out of this area. If you see a strong break and then a retest and some rejections, it's probably going to go up to this next level. If you see a break to the downside and a retest, it's probably going to come back and touch support. Okay, simple setup on GU. Wait for this break, and you can even, if you like, you can use a box like this. Wait for this to break out. Let's see. Again, though, with the pound pairs, you can see a lot of erratic stuff. We've still got a lot more Brexit stuff coming out, and they're just a little unstable. So GJ, very, very, very simple setup on GJ this week that I'm looking for. This is probably my most Odd pair for for pound pairs that I'm interested in. GA and GU is a little crazy right now. GJ is a little bit more simple. So the momentum is obviously bearish. The structure's bearish. We had this accumulation phase. We had a breakout retest and a lot of momentum to the downside. What I'm seeing personally is some consolidation and a lot of zigzagging. And then, a breakout of these price regions would definitely tell us where price is going to go next. Very simple, guys. If it breaks out of this level and retest, it's going to come back up. If it breaks out of this level and retest, it's going to go back down. When we look at the 4 hour, it makes a lot of sense. This is going to range and either break and retest and come down. And in this, I think the downside is limited. But we do have a daily, we have a 4 hour double top and these lows down here that could potentially be taken. I wouldn't, you could sell this if it breaks and retest down here. That's a nice 70 or so pips. If this level, however, is broke strong and we get some retests here and some rejections, then, that's a much better ideal sell from here. If we see an upside break and a retest, you can take it back up to where price kind of broke out to begin with and just kind of play within these zones. It looks like a lot of the pound pairs may stay a little range bound this week because of all the stuff that happened last week. So just watch that. The pound pairs are going to be kind of simple. Wait for the break and retest out of the consolidation zones. Okay. USD ZAR, looking for, one or two things. This one's going to be easy and simple. Either A, price breaks out of this range and retest and pushes up. On the daily, we've got a lot of resistance here. This closed very bullish. So if we see a break and a retest on lower time frames, where would your target be? Here, where liquidity's at. I can't even look at it on the 4 hour. Yeah, around these highs, even here, And if you're more of a swing trader, this looks, this is a breakout. This was your breakout. This looks corrective, and then this looks like it's going to push higher. So if we see this level break and retest, it's definitely going to go up to the upside. If you were looking for shorts on ZAR, if you were looking for shorts, I would, block this off, and then, if it breaks to the downside and retest this level, then you could probably sell this down to here, or I would play it safe and put it in here, and even have conservative targets in here. Because this is bullish and any sort of downside I think is going to be corrective. Now, it could be wrong, and this could reject and reject and reject, and then we fall. It's completely, possible. But what we want to do is just pay attention to the price action. If we see a break and retest, that tells me the structure is broken and we're going up. If we break here, I would even take this zone down to here. I would wait for this to break. And retest to come back down, and then with targets down here, and we may continue. We could potentially see a retest all the way back down here to where price accumulated. It's an exotic, so it moves a lot faster and it doesn't retest as clean as a lot of the other pairs. So, don't be shocked if we don't come back down here, but don't be shocked if we do. We could see some sort of corrective structure and a lot of choppy price movements down to this level and getting ready to really rock it up. This could be our new higher low to push up. But for me, when you look at the whole entire market structure, we broke and then we ran into this area of a lot of support. So it makes sense as to why we pushed up. If you're more of a swing trader, long-term trader, pull this 4 hour zone up and just wait for this to break. If this breaks, price is not going to come back in that area. We're going to come all the way back down here. So it just depends on your trading style. If you're more of a intraday, you could draw up little zones like this, and if it breaks and retests, we're coming down. So keep it simple. The ZAR, again, could see a lot of consolidation. We've kind of got some indecision here. This followed by this is, a little odd to me. So we'll just wait and wait for price to break structure to take some positions. Okay, on the dollar peso, definitely looking for some nice moves on this pair. As you can tell, these lows haven't been taken yet, so the potential to come down here, is pretty high. So structure was broken. We had this kind of corrective structure. If you want to call it a flag, you can call it a flag. We had this kind of corrective structure where we broke out. So I would look for a retest, in this area, probably if you're looking at the daily around here, and then look to get short. On the peso dollar, we have, a very strong move down. This looks kind of corrective to me. I would look to get short here. Okay, so this is why we have a bearish order block here. Price accumulates and then drops. There's a lot of orders here, but there's more liquidity up here. So look for a price to come up here and wick back into this area and reject, and then you could take this all the way back down to the lows. Another scenario is price could come back and retest, reject, and then push up from where we're at right now. So just pay attention to these scenarios. If you see one of the two things happening, kind of where the market's going. If we keep pushing up here, and I would wait for, a retest of this level and some rejection to get short. And obviously, if it breaks and retests to the upside, your stop will get taken out. But in my opinion, we could come all the way back up here to retest. Very possible. So make sure your risk management is on point, and just look for these two levels of rejection. If the price action looked kind of weak here, and then we're starting to see more bullish candles and more bullish momentum, then we're going to come up to this next level. So the pairs I'm really eyeing this week, more than anything, is silver. Looking for silver to come up here, tap this area, looking to sell it back down to here, and then looking to buy here. Okay, so that's a nice setup that I'm looking at for this week. Gold, pretty much same exact scenario. Looking for hit this liquidity area up here at 1327, and I'll buy if it breaks 1319. And then I'm looking to sell here for sure if we see some sort of reversal pattern all the way back down to 1300. Would be my downside target selling there. I think it could go lower, but I'm going to play it safe. And take profit in there. I think it's going to come all the way back down here, but we'll see. Oil, I'm kind of trying to stay away from oil right now. It's a little choppy. So gold and silver definitely. US 30 still, kind of choppy. Definitely looking for shorts though to go with the momentum. NASDAQ, same thing. Looking for some sort of correction and retest to get short. GA. I'm trying to stay away from the pound pairs this week. There's going to be a lot of, I think, either consolidation or a lot of indecision. So kind of want to stay away from there until we get a strong breakout. And we could get a breakout, but that's what I'm waiting for, the breakouts. Unless it's GJ. Again, GJs are very nice setup right now. Block this area off, wait for a break and retest, take it to the next levels. Downside levels would be here. Right, upside levels would be here. Okay, so wait for you could definitely look to short on this area if this is your trading style. A break and a retest of this level, you could look to sell here. Me personally, I would wait for this low to break and then retest and then sell from there just to be more sure. 70, 80 pips. ZAR. USD ZAR still, looks like we're range bound. So either going to see a break down here or a break up. Wait for that price action to set up. Peso, structure's broken. So looking for a retest around this level. to get short. So those are my setups for the week. I'm really eyeing gold, silver, and GJ. Gold, silver, and GJ are my 3 pairs to watch out for, and the NAS. Also to I'm on my new computer, so it's not showing. The S&P is also setting up for a really nice short. Let's see, S&P is setting up for a really nice short as well. Again, though, it's kind of all the same across the board for all the indices. We're running into support. So we're going to see one or two things. We're going to get some sort of corrective structure back up into here, and then a short, or we're going to break this structure, retest, and continue down. Again, either way, I'm bearish. So just waiting to see what the price action shows. I'll update everybody on my channel, on our channel for setups, and hope you guys enjoy this. Take notes, and hope you have a good week of trading. Thanks, guys.